In the heart of Northern California, a sinister presence haunted the shadows, elusive, chilling, and relentless. For years, he stalked the streets, leaving behind cryptic messages, taunting clues, and scenes of unimaginable horror. The Zodiac Killer, a name that continues to send shivers down the spines of even the most seasoned investigators. His identity remains one of the most perplexing mysteries in criminal history, a riddle that has defied logic and eluded answers for over half a century. This is the story of a man whose crimes blurred the line between reality and nightmare, leaving behind a legacy of fear and unanswered questions. Who was the Zodiac Killer? What drove him to commit such calculated acts of violence? And how did he vanish so completely, leaving the world grasping for answers in his wake? The nightmare began on a cold night, December 20th, 1968, near Vallejo, California. Betty Lou Jensen, 16 years old, and David Faraday, 17, parked their car on the quiet, desolate stretch of Lake Herman Road. For the young couple, it was supposed to be a peaceful night. Instead, it became their last. Shots rang out, piercing the silence of the rural road. Betty and David were executed at point-blank range, their bodies found near their car. There were no witnesses, no apparent motive, just two lives snuffed out in an act of brutal violence. At the time, no one could have imagined this was only the beginning. Months later, the Zodiac Killer made himself known. On July 31st, 1969, letters arrived at three major newspapers: the San Francisco Chronicle, the San Francisco Examiner, and the Vallejo Times-Herald. Each letter included a cryptic cipher, along with a chilling confession. The Zodiac claimed responsibility for the murders of Betty Lou and David, as well as others. His demand? That the letters be published, or he would kill again. The cipher was a puzzle meant to reveal his identity, or so he claimed. As cryptographers and amateur sleuths scrambled to decode the symbols, fear spread like wildfire through the Bay Area. The Zodiac reveled in the chaos, sending more letters, mocking the police, and threatening further violence. One of his most infamous letters arrived in August 1969. In it, the killer wrote chillingly, "I like killing people because it is so much fun." His twisted words sent shockwaves across the nation. This wasn't a killer driven by revenge or desperation. This was a predator who killed for the thrill of it, a monster who thrived on fear. On September 27, 1969, at Lake Berryessa, the Zodiac struck again. Brian Hartnell and Cecilia Shepard were enjoying a peaceful day by the water when the killer approached them, dressed in a menacing hooded costume adorned with his infamous cross-circle symbol. He tied the couple up, then stabbed them repeatedly. Cecilia succumbed to her wounds. Brian miraculously survived to tell the tale. But the Zodiac wasn't content with just taking lives. He wanted to etch his presence into the world. Before leaving the scene, he scrawled his signature symbol and the dates of his crimes on the couple's car door. It was another twisted message to the authorities, another taunt to those who tried to stop him. As the Zodiac's killing spree continued, so did his letters, each more cryptic and unnerving than the last. He claimed responsibility for more murders, some unconfirmed, and hinted at plans for even more horrific acts. His final confirmed letter arrived in 1974, after which he disappeared as suddenly as he had arrived. Theories abound. Did he die? Was he arrested for another crime? Or did he simply stop killing and retreat into anonymity? Over the years, suspects have been named and evidence scrutinized, but no definitive answers have ever emerged. Among the suspects, one name stands out: Arthur Lee Allen. Circumstantial evidence linked Allen to the murders, but no conclusive proof ever surfaced. Others have pointed fingers at individuals ranging from unknown loners to high-profile suspects. Yet the truth remains elusive, locked away in the mind of the killer or lost forever to time. For over 50 years, the Zodiac shadow has loomed over the Bay Area, his crimes leaving an indelible mark on the world of criminal investigation. Advances in DNA technology have reignited hope, but the question lingers: will we ever know the truth? The Zodiac Killer wasn't just a murderer. He was a manipulator, a game master who used fear and intrigue as his weapons. He turned the people of Northern California into players in a deadly game of cat and mouse. And even now, decades later, we are still trying to understand the rules he set. Thank you for joining us on this chilling journey into the enigma of the Zodiac Killer. His story is a haunting reminder of the darkness that can hide behind the most ordinary of faces. If you want to delve deeper into more unsolved mysteries, true crime cases, and stories of the unknown, make sure to subscribe to Where Shadows Lead. Together, we'll continue searching for the truth in the shadows.